region of North America. Some of the best mechanics on display. North America, though, known to play a bit slower, more concise, and this is a synergistic team, but they're also capable of solo mechanics and kickoffs. We'll think about that. But Power, early pressure.
And Power have also been going for some crazy kickoffs too. You look back at how they've played in OCE. There's so many times in North America where the kickoffs are basic and simple. And they don't adapt and they don't change. That's definitely, the meta is shifting dramatically at the moment. G2 are at the forefront of that, and Beast Mode is the battering ram that goes through Power.
Yeah, he said battering ram. I call that like mini pod of just kind of nudging Fever in there. Beast Mode. You need to see him peak today. G2, I got to cast them versus Gen.G, an extremely low-scoring series, but a tight one going all the way to 5. But Power are no strangers to game 5, maybe a strangers to the net, as Daniel gets the second one in.
Starting as they mean to go on, we said about the kickoffs, that one flying so erratically, B-Head couldn't get to it. And with the assist from Atomic off the kickoff, technically from a few seconds ago, Daniel can absolutely leather it home. G2 starting as they mean to go on with unbridled aggression. But we saw previously how well Luminosity had demos. Could that be the secret for Power?
I like when you say B-head, because I just said they look like bumblebees, and now I can't unsee it at this point.
Bumblebee head.
Bumblebee head. But hey, I gotta cheer on my fellow fruit of banana head, I guess, a little bit. I'm a bit split on this match. It really could be a toss-up. On paper, you wouldn't think so, but based on how the day has went, you're not insanely confident on either side. But G2 already being physical. Torsas, you talked about how fast he can play. The ball got robbed from him. Beast Mode setting up his team. This is dangerously on the box, an awkward flip there by Fever. Power seemed to do okay.
And tell you what also about Torsas, one of the only remaining players to still play Indominus. I love Indominus. And then one of the only players in the entire competition, and a pro in general, who is still playing with sunglasses on top of his car, and Atomic. He's not got sunglasses on his car, but he is one of the coolest guys in the competition. Catches, fakes out one, sends it behind Torsas. It is 3 in quick succession for G2.
Well, if you wore sunglasses that night, you wish that you didn't see what just happened there and how this has started for G2. They really suffocate all the teams in their region, and you were gonna wonder if they would have that same dominance coming into international competition. So if G2 make top 8 off of this, how much respect have they gathered? Can they regain that? But Power, it's quite a deficit to start off the match, but it's still both teams posturing.
Minute 45 elapsed, and so far Power have been struggling to get any shots on board. There's a double attempt from Atomic, a miss from another. Banana Head now gets face off versus Beast Mode. B Mode versus B Head. Goes up top to the ceiling, takes it low with a reset. Save is secured from G2, but with no one pushing for Power, it's a chance of B Mode to make it past the halfway line. Instead, pushed along by Daniel. Back to Beast Mode, back to Daniel. Atomic with the follow-up. A light shot and a regulation. Easy save for Fever.
It's 5-1 shots in favor of G2. I see Power, especially Torsas, go for demos in the midfield to break up that space and generate more opportunities. But as soon as they even get close to the zone, G2 are winning the 50s. Daniel gonna leave that to Fever, I guess, as Power starting to put on the press, but they can't keep up the momentum, and that is what's gonna lack out of their offense.
Halfway through the game, and yes, we had that very rip-roaring start. Power unable to bring anything back from it, but G2 unable to score yet another, but they literally don't need to. They've already got 3. They can let 2 go, and they're going to be sitting all okay. A pinch up high. Daniel, the only one to read it. Torsas has to sit on the goal line and see what he can conjure up. Fever now to send it long, but with no one following, it's just a handover of possession back to Atomic.
At least Power not letting G2 get all the rebounds and just put on shot after shot, because that's when you start to really panic, and those mistakes can be shown. And Beast Mode setting it up. Double flip there from Power in the box, but there's no follow from G2 to really start to build lethality on this offense. But now that Daniel has the ball and Beast Mode is to its right, he hits the reset to shove him out of the way. 4-0 G2.
Minute 30, and Daniel, a little bit of magic. What a catch. A reset over 1. Does get bumped, and Fever crawls away from his goal line. No chance to save it. Moves out the way. G2, they are taking no prisoners in the 5th round.
Oh, I don't know what 911 is in OCE, but you're starting to worry if G2 can do flip, reset, dribble, and then you got this. You got an open net. Power have to rethink this. This is an ugly game one.
Yeah. And Power, they can put up more. Their record so far has hinted, it's shown the quality they've got. They've just come off a win versus Rule 1. That is a ridiculous win their Power have managed to secure. And then they come out and they become the punching bags for G2. That's not how they want their story to go. It's not how any of us want their story to go, unless you're a G2 fan. Beast Mode trying to fake out one is not able to on that chance. But with no offense building for Power, Lemon, you said earlier it's 5-1 in shots in favor of G2. Right now, it's 8-1, not a single extra shot until that one. Fair enough, Torsos. It's now 8-2.
Why don't you just score? That's advice that he's giving all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you just score? And Beast Mode has to turn around. Power powering their way through the midfield. But where's the presence out of Power? Where's the eagerness? They approach the blue end, and Daniel beats the defender, and this barely misses. Power, I mean, it's over already. There's only 36 seconds left. What if Power can just get one on the board? It may not feel as bad. Can bring that momentum maybe to game 2.
Yeah, a confidence booster, it does work wonders, but it won't do anything for game number 1. Very handily, G2 dispatch of any Power dreams that they may well have conjured up in game number 1 with a very handy 5-0 result. Over on the mainstream right now, it is Complexity versus Gen.G. Again in that 5th round, they are in overtime. 1-1, it's over a minute 20 has elapsed as well. So if you have 2 screens, if you have 2 phones, if you have 2 whatever, make sure that you tune into both at the same time as Daniel scores the 6th.
Man, Complexity and Power have a similar story of beating the expectations, rising above what people thought of them. But I would say G2 up 6-0 in their first game versus the overtime of Gen.G. Maybe the #1 of NA is still up for debate, but I think G2 looking so confident. They're able to go for mechanics off the ceiling. 2 shots in that last game. Power just could not transition. There was one close call out of Banana Head, but
it's because they can do more. That's the annoying thing, they can do more.
We're like disappointed parents.
Exactly.
The B- is not enough.
I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
If you want to go to med school, if you want to make top 8, you just gotta be better, because G2 demand perfection out of any team they face.
And G2 in game number 2 here on Forbidden Temple. It's a chance for them to go on to series point oh so early on. Power, what have you got? What can you impress us with? It's early pressure from Beast Mode. Daniel removes Torsos from the net entirely. Fever pinching it away. Beast Mode again lurking just behind the goal, making it incredibly awkward for anybody on Power to feel safe.
And Power are playing very scared right now. I mean, this is awkward. Banana Head, that 50, Atomic almost dunked on him there. And Power are staying in their half. They're launching it. They can't transition the midfield yet. They're losing the challenges there. Finally, some mileage earned, and Torsos is immediately recalled back. And Power gotta see if they can regain this space. A big win out of Banana Head, but saved by G2.
Chance now as Power push. Barely had any shots on target so far, equaling the amount of shots they had in game number 1 with a mighty amount of 2. The midfield sees Atomic send it long over towards Banana Head and then gets bumped in the corner. Daniel taking it high, a reset round 1 but bumped away by Fever. Torsos can send it to someone. It's going to be Fever, pass back, Banana Head, but again relinquishes any control.
G2 has some really good setups, though, and centering that in front of the net. Once they get more aggressive, it's over. Maybe once Beast Mode gets the reset. Oh, kind of faked it. Wanted to drop it below the defender. Beast Mode tucks Fever into the net as Atomic has to fight against 2. G2 really having Power's backs against the wall. Still not scoring quite yet, but the threat is certainly there out of North America.
2 minutes elapsed and still 0-0. A considerably better performance from Power in this one. It's a shot just wide of target from Fever, asking questions, being threatening. Midfield, Fever sends it towards Atomic. Banana Head maybe tapping it back central, again nearly dunking, and again being that nuisance player, barely spending time in his own half. That's where he feels most confident, when he's in the opposition's area. Fever sends it high above his own net. Now Banana Head wants to continue it on. A tap back It's going to be a very scary moment for G2's defense. Recovered well, Banana Head towards Fever. A shot! All three from G2 dive.
It is so hard to score against G2. They always seem to have two back. They're only sending one forward, seeing if the solo mechanics will be enough. But now, the press out of Power, wanting to pass and pinch that in. It was close. And Power getting that energy back after maybe being a bit scared in that first minute of play. But Torsauce against Daniel takes it high. Banana Head doesn't get a piece of it, but Fever starts to drive and runs into his own team.
Banana Head helped him very kindly back down towards the ground, like helping an old lady across the road with her groceries. Minute 50, Beast Mode committing towards that backboard. A dunk is unsuccessful. And this Power looks infinitely better, as I said earlier on. So much more ambition. Atomic, a straight shot on net, a back flip from Torso, sends it wide.
Atomic is taking so much boost. Power very drained at this moment, but at least the spark plug of this team seems to be Banana Head and how they can help themselves crack through G2. But Atomic has been dangerous to go up against. He's not afraid to 50 you in your own end, and G2 will add to that equation. I love that they're starting to send more members forward because it's taking more out of G2 to score.
Atomic slightly out of position there, has to then chase that ball back. A double demo. Torso shoots on the only remaining player. Can't squeak that ball in, but these demos are absolutely rattling G2.
Need to demo all three of them, I guess, if you want to score. We'll try that. Plan C coming up next. With 50 seconds left, Banana Head got speed. Atomic bumps him off, and Beast Mode ready in the net. The demo came up too late. Fever threads the double, fakes it down, and Power. Every shot has been blocked. Finally out shooting G2 in the second half. And that energy is all gone.
It's a great pass central, but then nobody's on it to receive for G2. Again, a challenge goes high. Daniel, 60 boost and a lot of ambition and a lot of want to get that first opening goal in game number 2. Considerably different tale.
Power are being starved right now. You see, it's taking so long to get anything going. And they position out of the net, and Power get overwhelmed.
Beast Mode doing the most G2 thing, slamming the crossbar. But on that chance, Torsos just so happened to be there to send it back into his own net. Post from Dan, crossbar from B Mode, goal for G2.
Took 9 shots out of G2 to get that going, but they took boost-starving Power to set them on a different point. What a pass to Banana Head, broken up at the last second. That could have been the equalizer for OCE. Seconds away, and G2 will go to match point. G2, they look comfortable, they look confident, they're going for mechanical plays, they're not taking big risks, they're not a big risk-taking team that are overly aggressive, at least in their own region. But going up against Power, they don't have to overextend and take risks, and Power are the ones that have to reinvent the wheel and figure out how to break apart G2, and the demos haven't worked out, and at least you stop Beast Mode with getting away with too much. Daniel to Atomic, off the ceiling, looking for the second touch. Torsauce not letting it through. All the cooks in the kitchen of Power to make those stops.
Power in this game as well are going to be searching for their first goal, bear in mind. They've been held to 0 so far, and being swept, perfect swept out of the Swiss is not something that you want to be seeing, not for the powerhouse team of Power themselves. And a load of demos flying in from both sides so far, none of them helping out either team.
Just when Power had the number advantage in front of the net, you get demoed from behind, and who is it? G2. Yeah, they got gloves too. And Beast Mode going for the ground pinch. Torsauce at least has his timing better to stop G2 from having too much space and time to work with. Double demos. G2 missing in action, but they still will fight tooth and nail. Beast Mode gotta watch out for the B Mode, and with the reset, he stopped in time. Power starting to beat these offensive members to the ball, and it's keeping them alive, and still the score at 0-0.
When you look over towards the A stream as well, Complexity versus Gen.G. Gen.G are currently leading 2-0. One more for them and they find the top 8 and they knock out number 2 in Sam.
North America may just stay alive.
Maybe.
We're gonna see how the series ends. These guys like to go the distance. Atomic going the distance towards the wall, but Fever puts it to the side, and Power. They're letting G2 have the ball, and not in this zone. You do not want that. but Power put up the saves and put up still 0 goals. So how does this transition go? Needing boost, G2 have starved them before, but Power doing a better job at being the masters of their own destiny.
This is 2 minutes elapsed so far. Still that 0-0, but we've seen how thin these games can go and how wide they can go. A 6-0 in the first, a 1-0 in the second. Beast Mode from his own half goes up high, gets bumped. Atomic does not take the straight shot there, instead goes for the double. I think a straight shot would have been a 1-0 for G2, maybe overcomplicated things somewhat. Atomic removes B-Head from the equation entirely. Torsos left on his Billy right at the back.
Man, if G2 are doing these aerial, like pre-jump passes, Power, you're scared. G2 are starting to feel really good. Maybe, yeah, at the end of the day in a 2-2 situation, but good nonetheless.
Oh.
And Power needing to bring that power to those shots. Maybe that's how you punish the backline of G2, who have always been stable, having at least 2 back at all times, because Power have been threatening, and their offense is not threatening enough to get a goal, but now that Daniel and his second man link up, Power have to break it up.
My issue with Power so far is that they get control of the ball, there's something that they can do, and then they just punt it long. They don't keep it close, there's no ambition with the ball. They're playing scared, they're just sending it away, but Fever, reading that Daniel didn't have it, instead Atomic did, went for the shot, still managed to dive in front of the goal. A minute 40 ticking down, and with every second, either an overtime or one of these teams may well be going home here and now. Beast Mode on target, Fever again with a save.
Oh, G2, even with the demos too, Power on the back foot, launching it, but needing to keep up. Fever has no boost to be as fast as he'd like to be. And Power, they can play fast, but having control, getting these second and third touches is difficult.
Oh
Daniel makes the save. It was a little scary.
Yeah. It's a save. It still doesn't find its way into the net. It's not a Torsos save, bless him. Midfield, Beast Mode's going to pick up the ball. The side will redirect high and wide of target. B-Head can pick up, but Daniel can pick up from that clear. Every single ball, a clash of titans in this match. Under a minute remaining. It's a chance for Daniel, goes high with it, round 1. Torsos can shut him down.
And it would only take one out of Power to keep the series alive as the last minute drains, as Fever is getting overwhelmed. Stepping up as the second and third man as Banana Head extended, but he makes his way back, collides into Daniel. G2 overextended, Banana Head is right behind Beast Mode, and Atomic keeps it out of the net, buys time for Daniel to get back and put it to the side. That was Power's closest chance at a first goal.
And it's the final 20, and Power, have they finally turned it on? Fever and B-Head committing to the same ball. Midfield waits, a patient Daniel to the ceiling, backboard, chance, Beast Mode, no contact made!
Oh, overtime is about to hit unless Atomic makes magic happen. Great bump out of Fever. Torsos wants to land this, get a full mental, physical reset. He has to travel all the way. We go to OT to decide Power's fate.
1 goal and Power go home, and that is a 24-hour journey they're going to be able to stew on these replays for. Daniel, central, challenged by Fever. Beast Mode now can pick it up to the ceiling. A reset and another challenge.
Power find their way back. Fever needs to bring eagerness to these 50s, but Atomic finds it.
No!
And